in the worst one. No, it figures. I'm just wearing a Navy shirt today. That figures.
You are, in fact, watching The Dorkening.
You're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned.
For all the geek news everywhere. Dorkening.
And this is The Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because The Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma Team knows of. It's the best. The Dorkening.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have a killer show for you today. This is going to be awesome. But without further ado, we'll go through the line. Jar Jar, how's it going, bud?
Hey, it's Tuesday, and I'm here, and you're there, and we're all here together. No? Okay.
I was trying to think of a rhyme with that, but
I'm sorry. I got nothing else.
Mr. Drew.
Hello, everybody. You know what? Actually, I take this back. Hey, everyone. Welcome. It's Splash Pages. It's Tuesday. We've got a stellar guest. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. And, yeah. Okay, that's all I had. Next.
Awesome. Velvet.
Hey, guys. It's your man, Velvet J. And tonight, we are blessed to have a comic book heavyweight in our midst, mostly known for his comedic writing style, but he is so much more than that. Creator of Lobo, Ambush Bug, Rocket Raccoon, and the Jaime Reyes version of the Blue Beetle. Whether you know his work on Legion of Superheroes, Justice League International, the Annihilation Conquest, or the Immortal Dr. Fate, his imprint on the comic industry is both vast and poignant. He even took a few years away from comics to do some animation storyboarding on both Ed, Edd and Eddy and the Real Ghostbusters, and we have him here tonight, just 9 days before the cinematic debut of his creation, the Blue Beetle, the one, the only, Keith Giffen! Thanks for being here, Keith.
Okay. Okay. I've just got this big box in front of me. This is the Coast has enabled local recordings.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Just hit OK on that if you
So
can.
got it?
Yep.
Click.
And then you should see all of us.
Yep, my apologies. I didn't know an alert popped up. Basically, that's saying it's doing a local recording on your end, so that we'll have the best quality of the recording because we edit this after it's done.
Where's the? There it is.
First appearance of Lobo. Look at that.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Awesome.
Yes. I can't believe I'm on a podcast that starts off with clips from my least favorite movie of all time.
Hey, we're good like that.
Star Wars. All of them. All of them.
Wow, that's amazing.
I can't.
I would think somebody who was
I had
so
to
into...
leave the theater because in the initial movie when Han Solo looked like he was dead, I jumped and went, yeah! And everyone turned around slowly and looked at me and I said, okay, I gotta go.
That's hilarious.
I would imagine somebody who loved comics so much would be like enthralled when Star Wars came out.
I did it. I did like 35 years of 7 days a week doing comics. And the last thing I want when I'm done with comics and looking for other entertainment is to go and see like the new Flash movie or the Justice League movie, which is hilarious, by the way. And I'd rather go see a good old-fashioned horror movie, something really.
Oh, really?
What he said.
I'm a huge horror fan.
Oh, no kidding. What was
Same.
the last one you watched?
Huh?
What was the last horror movie you watched?
The last horror movie I watched in a theater.
Or at home?
Well, Megan I like.
Oh, no kidding. That was a cool... I like the creepy robot. Although I felt
I
bad for her.
I was just watching We Are All Dead, Korean high school zombie flick. But my all-time favorite horror movie is Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods is amazing.
Nice.
100%, yes.
Great film. So like, and people are going to be, well, you don't go to see Superman or Batman. No. Rocket Raccoon, you created Rocket Raccoon. He's in a movie. You're going to go see it? No, my daughter had to drag me to the movie. I just sat there thinking, oh God, it's got to be over soon. I have, like Blue Beetle's coming out. I have no, it's okay, they did Blue Beetle. Pay me. That's it. I mean, it's like, if I miss the Blue Beetle movie, I'm not going to be brokenhearted. I'll probably watch it on cable. But it's not.
Did you get invited to the premiere, Keith?
Yeah.
Are you going to head out there?
No.
No? Oh.
No, I'm going to go all the way out to California to go to the Blue Beetle premiere. I'm going for a movie that I really don't care to see, for people I don't care to see again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. First of all, I don't think DC. That was really unfair because I don't think most of the people up at DC right now are the people that I interacted with. So it was unfair of me to say I won't like them, but I'll cover any bet. I'll bet you I don't like them.
There you go.
It's freelancer mentality.
I gotcha. So if we had to go back to the beginning of your career, or certainly early in your career, Keith, can you tell us the story about how Bill Mantlo was responsible for you getting hired at Marvel?
Yeah, it's I start at the beginning. All right, I was working at Hoffman LaRoche, which was a major pharmaceutical firm then, as a hazardous material handler, which means that I got to transfer around dry iced. They put it in dry ice, but these were radioactive and biohazardous materials that we had to get to the place before they started, bleeding off whatever they were. One of our guys got painted purple. Let's put it that way. He was yanked aside and painted purple. And so I decided I was going to try to break into comics. Sort of portfolio. And I take my week off and I go into Marvel and I show them my portfolio. And the secretary, I don't know if it's Flo Steinberg, but the receptionist there, secretary, she grabs my portfolio, opens a drawer on the desk, slides it in, closes it, and goes, come back tomorrow. Real encouraging.
Yeah.
So the next day comes around, and I thought, I got this weird hope. I don't want to ruin it. So I'll go tomorrow. I won't go today. So I went the next day, and I come in, and the secretary sees me and jumps on her feet and goes, you asshole. I'm like, okay, you don't know me that well, but you're right, but what put that on? And she goes, just shut up, and calls and says, he's here, that idiot's here. And it's just, every word was defensive. So then, who was it came to the door? Well, I think it was just some assistant came to the door and said, come with me. No hi, no hello, how you doing? Come with me. And they drag me inside, and they take me down to, oh God, whose office was it? I believe it was John Romita's office. John Romita, who was, by the way, a great guy, very encouraging, very nice. But what I found out during the time I was interacting with John was that, being the professional that I am, I had left my portfolio. Just my portfolio. No name, no address, no phone number, no way to get a hold of me. And it so happened Ed Hannigan had walked off the Sword and the Star backup feature in Marvel Premiere. Was the issue with Satana on the cover. Bill Mantlo needed somebody right away, saw my samples, liked them, and now I could accept the assignment, but now it was a day late. And just did it from there, and then did a few other things for Marvel, then switched over to DC, and haven't really had a day off, and hadn't had a day off in 35 years.
That must be nice.
I got lucky, and I look back on it, and I think, wow, I wouldn't hire me. I wouldn't hire me. Wood God is a book I was, hey, you're real good on Wood God. No, Klaus Jansson's real good on Wood God. Because he fixed all my artwork up. And I don't think he felt comfortable in comics until I started plotting, just doing the plots. And that's when I fell into a rhythm, and I thought, okay, do my little itty bitty drawings on typewriter paper and hand them into the artists. And I enjoyed doing that. And Andy Helfer used to use me because he'd bring in new artists. And rather than go through a whole bit of trying to teach him how to do storytelling, he had to work with my breakdowns. And that's how Kevin Maguire got started, working with my breakdowns. And also, that's how I got in. I sort of backed into the comic book business.
That's really interesting.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, we have great reverence for you. And so Ambush Bug and Lobo, such diverse and different personalities. What inspired each of those?
I'll start with Ambush Bug because he was first. Ambush Bug was basically, I sort of reached inside. He's kind of my alter ego. Ambush Bug was based on me, just like Cheeks was based on my son.
Oh no!
So all the weird Ambush Bug stuff was how I kind of looked at life. I mean, I didn't think anything he was doing was really funny because I thought, well, I'd probably do the same thing in the same circumstances. Lobo, on the other hand, Lobo was oh boy, how do I put this? He was a reaction. Lobo was a reaction. I was seeing all these characters were coming out like Wolverine and the Punisher, and the superhero vigilante who's not really a superhero. And I thought, that's horrifying. That's horrible. These put out these one-note characters. And I thought, well, okay, let's make fun of it. So Lobo was meant to be a direct comment on and a bashing of those characters. But he caught on, and I got really offended. And so I did, the DC came and said, we want to do Lobo in a miniseries. And I said, okay, fine. So I did, oh Lord, what was the first Lobo miniseries? And then it was done. After that, they had my favorite Lobo story of all time, the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special.
Yes, that is absolutely phenomenal. When I heard about it, I had to read it, and I was like, "This is ridiculous, but it's so great."
And I'll tell you, what kept me on the book that long was Simon Bisley, who was really advancing as an artist. His artwork, I plotted out, and I wouldn't even look at the visuals until the book came out. So I was like a fan reading. And then after that, I think I did, I think it was another Lobo series, like Blazing Chain of Love. And then I said to my editor, I said, look, no matter it comes to me, we're going to do Lobo as a monthly book, but we have to cut it down to PG level. And okay, I didn't mind going down to PG level. What I did mind was going to that mindset month after month after month, because I had to go to a real dark mindset. It's Lobo. Like when I did Lobo Blazing Chain of Love, my mindset was all women must die. And so Lobo came from a really, really dark place. I don't want to live in that place. And I think Alan Grant said, I'll take it from there. And I just that was my end of Lobo. I just wandered off of the character and left Alan Grant to it. And I think I came back for one issue here, one issue there, just for the hell of it. There was also Infanticide, I think.
Yeah.
But after Blazing Chain of Love, a lot of the excitement of doing Lobo was gone. It was a book like Justice League. I quit at, I don't remember what number it was, but I was on it for a long time. And the only reason I quit was because I'd run out of stories to tell with the characters. That didn't mean there were no new stories. It just simply meant that I'd be repeating myself. I didn't want to do that. So I figured I'd bow out. And Legion.
Well, don't tell other people in the industry that, because I feel like we keep seeing the same story over and over again.
I know. I haven't picked up a comic in 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I read about it online. I read about the different things that are coming out. And I'm like, really, the best you can do is make Superman gay. He's not gay. He's got equipment that won't fit into anything that we know. He's not human. He's not human. It's like I want to do a Superman story so bad wherein we establish that Lois's marriage to Superman is a form of bestiality because he's not human.
Yeah, he's alien.
And then I also want to do other stories with the characters and horror versions of the characters.
Right.
And they made a special issue, and it's always bugged me that one of my favorite movies is Brightburn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I did that first in the horror issue when the Rocket comes from Krypton and he terrorizes everyone and kills his mother. And I thought, well, okay, fine. I guess I'm on the right track. But
did that ever come out, Keith?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was part of a DC Halloween. It had a Mike Kaluta cover. And it was, I just took different DC characters. Like my story about Batman was that we just see him loading a gun in the real time. And he's flashing back to why he's loading the gun. His time as Batman or what he's done. And we find out then that when he was Batman he was Bruce Wayne. He didn't know he was Batman. He had no idea he was Batman. It was like a split personality. Mm-hmm. We find out later on that there was a third split personality when he finds the closet with the purple clothes, the green wig, and the white grease paint in it. Mm-hmm. And that pushes him over the edge. And I did stories like that, like Wonder Woman as a superhero who has the same Amazon attitude that they did in the Odyssey. And just, I had fun doing that. And eventually I had more fun doing that than doing straight superhero stuff.
There you go.
That sounds super interesting.
If you were going to pitch a book to DC or Marvel today, what would you think you would go for?
Oh, it's going to sound weird, but for the last couple of years I was at DC. I didn't pitch a book. I didn't go into Dan Didio and go, hey, I got a great idea for Firestorm, who I hate, by the way. I just go in and say, I'm tired of doing the book I'm doing. What do you need help on? I didn't say, like some people go, well, I said it was the worst selling book and I came out. No, I said, what do you need help on? Well, what book is in trouble? I tended to pick up that book. But I think the last book I actually asked for by name, probably Justice League. Because I bothered Andy Helfer for one whole year before he finally put me on the book. I wanted that book. I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I had no idea DeMatteis was on board, but I just wanted the book.
Sounds like you'd like a challenge, Keith. You like going after maybe not the easy road.
I bore easy. If I'm on the book for too long, I start going bored. If I fall into using the tropes, I just lose interest. So it's not that I like a challenge. It's that I'm bored and my attention wanders. So my all-time favorite. Hey, see if you can guess. What do you think is my one all-time favorite, bar none, comic book? I've done.
Ooh. Let's see. You're a horror person. I'm gonna go with Vampire.
There's a lot of comics.
Vampire. G.I. Robot and the Howling Commandos.
Oh, there you
go. March Hare.
March Hare.
The March Hare.
I don't even know that.
It's very obscure. It was an independent thing. Was put out, limited amount of copies, but that I just enjoyed doing that issue. It was about a hitman who kills a client who was haunted by the March Hare.
That sounds really cool.
He winds up inheriting the March Hare.
Oh.
And we just took did one issue. That was it. Out the door.
Interesting.
Okay.
And
So
that's my time favorite book.
So Keith, at one point you kind of took a break from comics and
Yeah.
you were working in television and film.
Yes.
And you worked on what is kind of my childhood favorite show, which was The Real Ghostbusters, for a bit.
Yeah.
And you also worked on it. One of them, other thing you worked on was Ed, Ed, and Eddie. So what was that like? I guess each project.
I don't have I have no recollection at all of The Real Ghostbusters.
Okay.
None. I have no recollection of all of it. But Ed, Ed, and Eddie was fun. Ed and Eddie, I had a lot of fun with. They cut you loose, they let you goof around with it, and they go in and edit it hard. But on Ed, Ed, and Eddie, as I watched the cartoon, I could see sequences that I'd done and tell what's going on next. Whereas with other stuff that I've done, you just hope you'll recognize one thing. And to be honest, storyboarding really wasn't for me because in comics I could do pretty much what I wanted.
Right.
In the storyboarding, that director and the producer, they got a neck clamp on you.
Mm.
So I figured, go back to comics.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Keith, what inspired you to create Jaime Reyes as the successor to Ted Cord? And then how has he evolved since first conception?
I was married to a Cuban woman. I was very aware of the lack of Hispanic characters. So when they approached me about the Blue Beetle, I said I wanted to do a Hispanic character. And I don't want to play he's Hispanic, so therefore, all the Hispanic tropes come up. I want to do a Hispanic character he's Hispanic. He's just a normal kid.
Right.
Maybe at dinner he might have something different, but he's no real personality difference than a young Peter Parker.
Right.
And
just a kid growing up.
We just did it from there. And Like, I was really proud of, I think I didn't do the intro. I think Jeff Johns did the intro because it was introduced in the crossover series.
Mhm.
And I think I did the first 6 issues with John Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Who, you know, if I can't remember it right now, but if you're a film buff, you'll recognize that name. There's a bunch of movies out there with the screenwriting credits on it. And it was like, I don't know, I just had fun with the character. I didn't really. Blue Beetle is one of the characters I did, and I thought, I'll do this. We'll have a nice run. That's it. No one's ever going to be interested in it. Nobody was more surprised than I was when they said, "Oh, we're making a movie out of it." You know, really, you make a movie out of Blue Beetle. Can't figure out Lobo yet. Which, by the way,
Right.
it's really, really easy to figure out why they screw up Lobo all the time.
Well,
Blue Beetle, they did.
and
They
it's
did a decent job on that Krypton series. Did you get a chance to see that at all, Keith?
Yeah.
You didn't care for it?
No.
I guess not.
fair enough.
Lobo, there's an actor. It was an actor. It's one of the business called Andy Brynarski.
Mhm.
He's huge and he's muscular, and that was what I like. Lobo should at least have somebody who's verging on 7 feet tall, probably taller, and muscular, and not very bright. And the problem with Lobo is they keep trying to make a Lobo movie and make him the hero. And I said, no. You approach Lobo the same way you approach Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees.
Mm-hmm.
He's the big villain. The villain drives the piece. Introduce he's going to assassinate the president and some spunky Secret Service agent foils it. Or just introduce another character to go up against him. Lobo's the bad guy. If he was in a Fantastic Four movie, he'd be Dr. Doom.
Right.
Fair enough.
I'm so sick of people trying to hero up characters.
Now,
Well-
since I now know that you're not really psyched about seeing the movie or even interested in seeing the movie, did you at least see the young man that was cast as Jaime?
I
Zolo
saw a picture.
Barrett?
I saw a picture of him once, and I thought, oh, okay. And I'm not going to argue it. I know that they dropped out 2 of the most important characters in the book, so I thought, okay, fine, I'm backing away.
Yeah, I was wondering actually if they ever asked for your input on stuff like that. Since I figured as much.
No, I was called once by a guy who was trying to produce the Lobo movie. And he calls me and he's talking to me about Lobo. And I said at one point, why are we having this conversation? He goes, well, I want to understand the character. And I said, since when? And he goes, well, we're not all like that. We don't just take your characters and do it. And I hung up on him. Never heard of him again. But then that's okay, because every time I've interacted with a Hollywood star or a Hollywood producer or director, it's been an unmitigated disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
I was threatened by Muhammad Ali. It's gotten that bad.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a story I'd like to hear.
Seriously.
Walking out of a convention, walking down the stairs. I think it was the garden. Walking down the stairs outside, and I bump into a guy. And it was like bumping into a tree. Literally spun me around. I was staggering down the steps. I look up, it's Muhammad Ali. He reaches over and he grabs me by the shoulder. He sort of hoists me a little off the ground. He goes, I could break you. And lets me go. And
wow.
I was 6 months before Star Wars hit, I slammed into a full body slam with George Lucas in the Marvel offices. And his papers flew everywhere. So the only conversation I had with George Lucas was, "What's where you're going, asshole?"
That's awesome.
I think there are people who saw the prequels that would probably want to buy you a drink and say you should have finished the job.
I think there's people who saw the movies. Like when I went to see Star Wars, and I thought, good movie. Plot, it's like a good one. It's like a good old-fashioned sci-fi western.
Right.
And then the second one comes out, which I think was the superior one.
A lot of people would agree with you, yeah.
And then the Wookiees, then the Ewoks came. and it was downhill from there. It was just down. You had the Ewoks, you had the Wookiees come in, and then Darth Vader takes off his helmet. It's Zippy the Pinhead. It's horrifying. It just went downhill. Went absolutely downhill. It's like the Halloween series. Loved the first film. Second one's okay. The rest is garbage.
Now, Keith, you mentioned two of the characters that they dropped from the movie that you felt were the most integral. Who were those characters?
That was Paco and what was her name? Brenda. Paco and Brenda, his best friend.
From the first six, part of his little gang.
Yeah, the guys that we got all the expository talk out of the way with. And, I enjoyed doing those characters and bouncing it around, and they're not in the movie, so okay, fine.
Yeah, they were great characters. I mean, Keith, I didn't know until doing some research on you recently that you grew up in Queens, which is where I grew up.
No, I was born in Queens.
Oh, you were just born there. Okay.
I was born in Queens. A week later, we moved to New Jersey, and I've been a Jersey boy my whole life.
Oh, okay. Well, you definitely have that East Coast, New York, New Jersey feeling and attitude.
I used to go to New York. I used to go to New York once a week up to D.C. and it wasn't because I wanted to go or had to do business. It's just self-defense. The pencils come in. Yes. Can I see them? Can I see them? Okay. Who is inking this? All right. I'll begin next week. Don't fuck it up. Because I had no choice with inkers. I mean. Everyone goes, you and Larry Malston, what a great team on Legion. Hey, I never got a choice.
Oh, no kidding.
No, never in my, I'm trying to think. Is there any time I had to push for an inker and go,
You're answering questions I have without even me asking them. That's fantastic.
He's done quite a few of these. I think he knows.
I think it was with the Inferior 5 that I did. I never got to finish the latter Inferior 5 with the group of kids, with the Dominators. God, that I got the inker I wanted. But other than that, it's like, who's inking me? Oh, Klaus Janson. Fine. And by the way, if you think I'm going to name a couple of inkers I hate, I won't do that.
Oh, that was
we wouldn't ask that.
Yeah,
we would not ask
the guy. Somebody else might. Yeah, my God, I loved him. No, I'm not going to go there.
Nope, totally don't want to go there.
No.
So to bounce back with Lobo, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already, but with the reboot of DC happening, in the theaters, what are your thoughts on some fans asking for Jason Momoa to be recast as Lobo?
He'd work as a character. I think I don't bother with the casting of the characters. I have certain people I picture as the characters, but I think Momoa would be good. I think Momoa would be good, but I haven't seen Momoa do comedy, and I've learned that, like everyone goes, well, what about The Rock?
No.
Physically, he'd be kind of right, but his comedy is broad.
Right.
He lays into the joke. And Lobo, you can't lay into the joke. You just got to say it and move on and wait maybe 15, 20 minutes and people go, oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah.
And that was the whole idea. That was the whole idea with Lobo. It was, how can I push it far enough? I once told who was Dick Giordano on Lobo. I said, look, I'm going to do this Lobo miniseries, and I might do a few afterwards. But the first time you come at me, ask me to change something, I walk.
It's so funny about Lobo because I'd seen him in certain other things, like featured in a comic, and then we had an episode where we read the first series, the first 4 issues, and reading that, I was just like, Mike, like it's one of those where it's like you read where it started and you began. You kind of feel like we went a little off the tracks there. A little it got diluted.
I love that stuff. I love the fact that the Lobo series started with Lobo, and there was a very thin thread. The 4th grade teacher, and the minute he cut off her legs, I thought, okay, we're home. We're home for spelling bees and stuff like that. And that was good. That was 4 issues. That's it. We did our bit. But no, I was so disappointed when Lobo caught on. I thought, he's going to come out. People are going to hate him. They're going to hate him. No, they loved him. He became the poster boy for all the stuff I hated. And, so the Lobo movie comes out, they get a good payday. Okay, fine.
That's good, at least.
So, other than Momoa, who is somebody you'd like to see cast as Lobo?
I'd like to see an unknown. I'd like to see an unknown so that, we don't have that problem with, my face is what sells the movie. And just somebody can put the makeup on and he'll act out the role. And if everything works out good, the Lobo role could launch the guy. Get a guy with that mindset that's going to launch it. Regular actors and stuff, it's like, no.
That's great to hear because I totally agree. The unknowns, like you can't throw a star into a role just because you think it's going to sell.
Also, with the Lobo movie, you need to put a lot of the money into the effects and stuff.
Yeah, because it's going to be totally over the top.
Oh yeah,
and it's got to be over the top. It's got to be the first splatter superhero movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they do any less, then it's just
And it's funny because I've been reading a lot of like 90s DC and whatnot just to catch up because I got to know where it's come from. And it's so crazy because I'm just thinking like how many times have we seen another Superman, another Batman, but I've never seen like I would think a Justice League International series would be great or a Justice League Europe. And I simply realized why. It's because a lot of comic movies just, especially say when DC comes to it, is that they just take themselves so seriously. Like, where's the humor?
I wouldn't want to see Justice League or the group from, I can't believe it's the Justice League or formerly known as Justice League. No. I just let them stay in. They're made for comics. Let them stay in comics.
Okay.
Keith, how about the Legion of Substitute Heroes movie?
Okay, that's a no. I can. Yeah, I
was trying.
That's me. There's one big problem with the Legion of Substitute Heroes movie. You got to spend a big part of the movie introducing the heroes that they're substituting for. Right. I mean, I'd rather have a Mario Lad movie.
Fair enough.
So, physical comic books, their popularity has dwindled to like. Yeah. Do you think they can be saved? Why. Do you think there's any saving them?
No. At this point, that sounds horrible. How much is average comic?
Oh, it's $4.99, I think.
$4.90. How many pages?
Where they've drawn the line.
24 to 30 pages.
21 pages.
Yep.
And it's you go to a discount movie theater for that, or you can.
I agree.
The minute we stop being cheap, like at a dime, comics were shut up entertainment. You're in the store, kids acting up. Here's a dime, buy a comic, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
They were cheap rewards, and now they're like, that's why I think most kids have a problem with their parents. They, Dad, can I buy a comic book? And Dad's thinking, 25 cents, 30 cents. He's from that era. He comes back with a $4 book. It's like, put it back. Just fucking put it back. Because I know everything else has gone up in price.
Oh, yeah.
Hershey bars aren't the same cost they were. Hershey bars are much more expensive now, right? But we never stopped buying Hershey bars.
It's true.
So we bought them. So gradually the price increases. We got used to them. Comics, look, you stop collecting comics when you get laid. It's that simple, because you don't need that male power fantasy anymore. And then maybe after a couple of years of that, then you come back and you're a fan. Okay, but I understand it. I mean, they're overexpensive. They're poorly drawn. They're badly written. They make crappy movies. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's like, look at Jack Kirby's FF, as dated as it is, and look at maybe what's being put out now for the Fantastic Four. It's like the Mad Magazine version. That's always bothered me. It's like Marvel does Fantastic Four. Jack Kirby goes, we're going to close down the book. Fine. Close it. Put it away. Put it away. Well, what are we going to publish? Well, you have creative people. Think of something new.
Right.
So,
on this show, Keith, we reflect back on a lot of the older series and comics as we review them.
Yeah.
And we've actually done quite a few of yours. And there's just a few things these days. Like I really like the White Knight series. But there's a few standouts, but not a ton.
Yeah.
It's usually non-continuity stuff that we're reading Elseworlds and stuff.
Vertigo. It's like the Sandman came out with a TV show that wasn't nauseating. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I just Marvel, forget it. DC, no. The Independents, no. I mean, it's like eventually Hollywood's going to stop looking at comics because all they're doing is adapting 20 and 30-year-old projects.
Right.
When they're doing the Avengers, they're not looking at this month's Avengers. They're looking back at that Avengers and going for it. And then they'll realize that, I mean, look, no comic book movie has ever directly affected comic book sales.
No.
Christopher Reeve came out, Superman, #1 movie. Everyone was talking Superman. Everyone was crazy. Didn't affect the sales at all.
Right.
Justice League, no sale. Avengers, Spider, doesn't affect the sales at all because they're fans of the movie. Not the comic.
Right.
Well, Hollywood, it seems like it's really trying to eat itself. A lot of the independents are being turned into shows for, say, like Netflix and Hulu, and they're canceling them even before they finish a first season. It's they're not giving these stories a chance, and people are going to think, hey, this is another new superhero show. Right. Why do I want to give it a chance if I'm not going to get a story out?
Because
And Leo, it's the same thing we saw with Sandman. I mean, Sandman was beautiful. There are parts of it that literally are adapted almost perfectly from the comic, but they had to campaign just for a season 2.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm watching a superhero show and it ends on a cliffhanger. No. I mean, if I think of a really good superhero show, would be the early George Reeves Superman. Get in till the story get out. If you miss next week, not a big deal.
Right.
But this just I can't do it. And horror movies are getting like that, and it's like no. Well, I'm not going to go see the new Insidious movie just because it's part 12 of.
Yeah, you got to watch 12 other movies to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually feeling that way towards the new Ahsoka from Star Wars. They're telling you got to watch Rebels and all these other cartoons and stuff to be caught up to that. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time.
Or attention span.
Yeah, it's also I don't want to have to get a degree.
Yeah.
In the movie I'm going to, it's like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't go to it, but I would assume, probably wrongly, if I go see the Barbie movie, I don't have to be associated and know about Barbie to enjoy the movie.
Right.
What's it? I lost his name. Invented the A-bomb.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer?
Either way.
Told the story. And
And
they're making a lot of money. Both those movies.
But you see, those movies they're the ones that wind up making the shitload of money. I mean, Jaws comes out. Jaws was released like an apology. It was good storytelling. It just took over the summer.
Right.
The Exorcist was a horror movie. No one expects a horror movie to do that good. Did great. Well, think of the movies that you really, really, really love, and tell me that they're part of a trilogy.
Right.
Well,
I have some. Oh, I'm sorry. I have some hope.
The Matrix was a good movie. Just forget the rest of it.
Yeah.
Good standalone movie.
Yeah.
So, speaking of kind of things that you did that were a little horror, another one of my favorites of yours was a book you did also with JM, which was Scooby-Doo Apocalypse.
Oh, that was
very
fun.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was a big fan. I remember collecting it till the end, and I had it signed a few times by you and JM, and you were always saying whenever I'd see you for it, like, yeah, this is so much fun. We'll write it as long as we did. And I grew up watching Scooby-Doo. So, when they announced this, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I loved what you guys did with it. You took it in a new direction. And also being a horror fan, I was like it's not dudes in masks, with the reveal. This is
it was like
we had a good time with
apocalypse story.
Yeah. The thing I'm most proud of is that we dumped all over Donald Trump before it became popular.
Yes. Velma's brother.
Yeah. So it was a fun book to do. We just did it, and we didn't care. We were just goofing around. Never thought about the next issue. Didn't have to tie into continuity. Oh God, we could blow up the Earth tomorrow.
Right.
You blow up the Earth in the DCU, you have trouble. I did blow up the Earth in the DCU, and even though I did it in the 30th century, they said we need it back.
Yeah.
And I never told anyone I was doing that. I just handed in the plot, handed in late, went through, got through, and then when it's printed, got a phone call from Dick Giuliani going, "Could you get in here?" Let's get in here, right? And I used to love doing stuff like that. But the Scooby book, it was just fun, and I was lucky in that I got as many issues I did out of my old partner in crime, Howard Porter.
Yeah. You three were just great.
No, that was a good run.
It was a great book, and I recommend it to people who are both fans of Scooby-Doo and horror fans. I'm like, guys, this is a book that balances out, and it takes them in good directions. Like, this is what a remake should be.
Well, my favorite Scooby story is when they go to the hospital. That I liked. They take him to the hospital, and the doctors all. I mean, I looked to horror movies to be into. I did Scooby-Doo Goes to the Hospital. That's a direct offshoot. I can point to Halloween too.
Right.
Not that I took ideas from it, but just the idea of going to the hospital. Good, that's over there. I can do this over here, and we had fun. And that's the key. That's the key to doing a good comic. If you're having fun, the readers can tell.
Yeah.
And the readers, and if you're just grinding it out and you hate it, they can tell too.
Oh, totally. I mean, like I said, I've been reading so much 90s DC, and it really was a different animal. And yeah, not everything worked, but I felt people were taking more chances. I feel like I read modern comics. I feel like I've read this already.
I'll tell you, it was a different animal. It's a Dan Didio.
Yeah.
And when he was at DC, he got dumped on so much by the fans, by everyone. Everyone, oh, it's all Dan's fault. It's all Dan's fault. What? It's his fault the books are doing good? Fucking morons. No.
Damn shame.
It's, I talked to him a little while ago, and he's quite happy. He's quite, he's writing his books, and doesn't miss it. That's the key. You talk to people that worked at DC and left, they'll go, I don't miss it. You think one of them might go, yeah, I'd love to go back. No, none of us want to go back. Nope.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Would you like to come to Hawaii for a convention? We'll cover all your costs. No. I'm not going to fly all the way out there and interact with the people who are responsible for keeping me in this business. No, I'm not going to do it. I'd say I have nothing against the fans, but do they really need me to be defacing the covers of their books?
Drew would say yes.
You know what? Listen, I've met him more than enough. I've got his John Hancock on a bunch of his work. I'm fine. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
I do.
You enjoy. You do you with whatever you're doing in Florida.
I do have one of the blanks for Scooby-Doo Apocalypse that I wouldn't mind having you deface, but it's a blank cover, so it's meant to be defaced.
And fun fact, that's a good segue. Speaking of fans, I was talking to a friend of mine who I believe you might know, because him and my other friend are very fond of popping up when you were at conventions. Leo, can you?
Actually, before we get into that, Keith, did you have a question?
Do I have a question?
Oh, it looked like he had a question when he mentioned blank covers.
I was saying,
Leo. Okay. Oh, here we go.
That was you, Jam, and Kevin, and
look at the expression on my face. That says it all.
He's like, "Why am I here?"
Yeah, DeMatteis says, "Hey, it's great." And I'm like, really? And got Kevin Maguire on the other side. I was actually looking at this. Why is Luther in there? And I realized it's Kevin. Mary Marvel has seen better days. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And then, yep, definitely.
Yeah. Just it's just fuck you. Yeah, I used to hate go. I hate going to conventions because especially panels. I mean, I said everything I have to say in the work.
Right.
And I could see this going, what was on your mind when you were doing issue 36 of the Justice League? Oh, sit down and shut up. I don't even remember issue number 36 of the Justice League. It was my mindset. I wanted to make money. That's it. That's my mindset. Mm-hmm. I had bills to pay, and I did it. And and people go, well, what if you didn't get paid? It's not going to happen.
No,
it was my job. It was my job.
And it's funny that you said that, because I remember when I was at a Terrificon panel with and they were talking about Robin, and the late great Denny O'Neil was there, and they were talking, and he just goes to Mike and said, "Are there any representatives from Warner Brothers in the room?" And everybody laughed. And he just launched into like a 2-minute tirade of just curses. And it was one of the best moments that I never recorded at a panel.
He's a nice guy. Denny's a real nice guy. I've looked and seen people from DC's legal department sitting in the front row and just been horrifying to DC. And I just like, come after me. Go with it. What are you going to do? I told the truth. I mean, I try to do that at these cons. I always try to tell the truth at cons and in interviews, because I can't be bothered down the line trying to remember the lie I told then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, tell the truth. Did you like doing that? No, I didn't.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't have to remember anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best thing. It's like, yeah.
So I take it we're going to get many more stories on I'm Not Dead Yet podcast?
Oh, yeah. I just finished one.
Oh, you did?
Fantastic.
I just finished one. Yeah, I do that, like my son-in-law does it. And what do we do? We just did I think it's a Lobo and ambush bug thing. But,
nice.
It's interesting because I can do that. I can put it out there. And then he said, do you want to read the comments? No, I don't. No, I don't. I mean, like I go on the computer and I check out the sites. I never leave messages. Let me say, I'm not into comics. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge gamer.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Huge gamer, yeah.
What's your top 3 right now?
My top 3 right now, they've been for a while. The original Fallout, Dead Island, the first one.
Nice.
And so many for the third.
That's pretty cool, man.
I guess Diablo.
Keith Giffen is a gamer.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. A BioShock. One of my favorite games is BioShock Infinite.
Oh, are you on Xbox or PlayStation?
I'm on
Xbox. Cool.
Yeah.
Might have to get your gamer information sometime.
Yeah, I just play the game, and every so often I'm on these games for some co-op. Yeah, and I'm just going through the game. All of a sudden, some guy went up to me in the screen. Beaver Lips 42 wants to join him.
Beaver Lips 42.
Yeah, I mean, to me, a video game is something I do on my own.
Okay.
On my own. That's why I like the older games, like Serious Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Or Duke Nukem.
Yep.
There you go.
The early games, those I like. They're but no, not these co-op games.
Yeah, and they make it so difficult. Like I tried, like I loved the game Tekken, a fighting game, and so I bought the last one that came out, and it says online play. So I've never done it. I'd try it, and I used to be good at Tekken, but they throw you up against some kid that's been playing it for like 30 hours straight.
Yeah.
And games are
not fun.
No, games are meant as like one player, just
games
enjoy
are meant to be fun. You follow the story, you build your character, you just have fun. Put your brain on hold, play the game for a while, check out. Not go on, get pissed off at some 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Or
son of a bitch.
Or they make these new games like not Elder Scrolls, but Elden Ring, where they make it like extremely difficult. Yeah, impossible to play.
I hate that game. It's not too difficult. It's boring. I mean, it's like if I'm going to play a game and really get into it, it could be something that I haven't done before. I did BioShock, the original BioShock. I really liked it. Second BioShock came out, garbage. Same thing over again. I thought, I'll never put this in. Then Infinite comes out. I'm back on board again. So it's like everyone goes, well, they're going to make another one, and maybe they're not going to go back to the same place. Good, really excellent, good. I did the latest Diablo. It's just a whole other world. The visuals are fuzzy, but
Keith, any other hobbies? Are you a reader? Do you play
golf?
golf?
I'm a voracious reader, but again, I like horror books. And you try finding a good horror book now. I'm going to get in trouble saying this, but the hell with it. Yes, they still write horror, but there's more women writing horror, and because they're writing women's horror now. Men's horror to me is something like the splatterpunk. Where you just go in there and just tear it up, rip it up, and have fun. Women get into relationships and how the person feels about what. I don't care how he feels.
Why is the killer doing this? He's sad.
It's. So I just
It's kind of like
I think it's rolling on older horror books.
Nobody can just be a bad guy anymore.
They have to have a backstory, and you have to sympathize with them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you had what's that movie? The Strangers. Great movie. That line at the end. Why are you trying to kill us? Why are you trying to kill us? Because you were home. Amazing. Then there's the second one, where it takes place in a drive-in, and it's like.
You got
that was interesting.
I was like, as he's saying that, the lights are blinking. I'm like,
what is that like? What? Oh, I'm being told it's time to go. It was actually that Tonight Show.
Okay, cool. I was like, because I've done shows where I see the blinking light. I was like, all right, we got to wrap it up.
Gotta wrap it up.
Leo, did any of the commenters have any questions for Keith before he's got to go?
No, it's just been a lot of people commenting on the discussion, but no questions here.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for
thank you so much, Keith, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
If you need to fill in, just let me know. I'll do it again.
Awesome. Love to have you.
Yeah, totally.
And
if there's anything you're ever promoting, Keith, just give us a call. We'll be happy to try to put it out there. If not,
Fuck that.
It's all good.
Okay. Oh, I gotta go. I got something.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you again, man.
Great night.
Have a good night.
Bye now.
That was great.
I feel like I met myself from like another timeline.
In 30 years?
Yeah, I feel like I just met myself in a timeline where I just gave no fucks.
I love that. That was great. That was like the most real, probably, interview we've had with anybody who they're just like, yeah,
It was
no,
like
I hate everything.
Yeah, that was the anti-interview. That was when shit gets real.
Guys, I need like 60 seconds to breathe. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Hey, Drew, when was that Denny O'Neil panel at Terrificon?
That had to been like,
fuck, I want to say
5 to 6 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe 20. I don't know. Let me ask. Hold on.
Well, hold on. Is this Denny? That's not Denny, is it?
No, that's Jim
Roy
Starlin,
Thompson.
and that's I think it was Roy Thomas.
Yeah, Roy Thomas. Yeah.
Oh, I said Thompson. My bad.
But I think it was like 2016, 2017, 2018 range. Like it was definitely pre-pandemic, and Denny was, of course, still with us. Maybe 20. I don't know. I like
more than 4 years ago, less than 10.
Yeah, but it was so fucking funny. Like me and Ange were sitting down there, and we were just dying because he just goes in, and it is just hilarious. And that's why I've always loved chatting with older creators, because as we've seen now, they are real.
Yeah,
they are.
He was like interviewing Neil Adams.
Like, yeah, I've got all these questions about these characters, and right away he's like, "Yeah, I hate all that stuff."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, like I'm expecting like a great story about the Ghostbusters. He's like, "Yeah, I don't remember that," and I was just like, "Okay, cool." Like,
yeah, I didn't even get to He-Man. I was just like, I don't want to hear him say that He-Man sucks or something.
I know, and then and then I didn't even notice it, but then we're looking at the photos. Everybody and I didn't look at him in there, and he was really like, I am not happy.
Yeah.
Like this I am here under protest.
They caught me again.
I feel like there's a story about the real Ghostbusters, because when you first mentioned it, his eyes almost rolled back to the back of his head.
Yeah. I saw that too, and I was just like, okay, I want to ask.
I'm gonna back up out of this one.
But you have that kind of look like, oh, that's so nice. And then actually, oh, God. And that is how we lost 3 fingers that day.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen.
It was a great time. So, everyone, Keith Giffen, we hope you enjoyed. It took us a long time to get for you. I think well-timed with despite the fact that Keith isn't excited about the Blue Beetle movie coming out, I'm excited about the Blue Beetle coming out. And having him
not
so
excited
close
about
to
any
the
movie coming out.
And I think Raz has a new role model, because I noticed he was commenting the most. And he was like, I like these things. I'm just like, there you go, Raz, new hero.
My favorite things. I hate the Blue Beetle movie coming out next week.
I hate that and hate that and hate that awful thing. It did not give me a cent of anything.
But when they paid me,
I figured for sure he would have gotten some kind of check.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of the creators seem to get like in the 5,000 to 10,000 range. But yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not. So, do you guys want to? Should we just kind of just bulldoze right into the news, or Velvet? Should we take your cue and just take like 60 seconds and just?
Well, why don't we talk about the? I don't know, Leo. Why don't you just throw up some images and we'll talk about them?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just Russian roulette our news, everybody.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna kick off with this one. Let me pull up my notes here. Hold on a second.
Oh, Leo's got notes.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
Ooh. So
wow.
So the teaser dropped for this. This is Batman Gargoyle of Gotham.
Yeah, Rich, you'd covered this in one of our earlier episodes.
this was right after San Diego Comic-Con. They had initially dropped a trailer on YouTube. It didn't show us a ton, but I guess maybe coming out now, Leo.
So it says, in a Gotham City where every day feels darker and more irredeemable than the last, Batman makes a definitive choice to kill off Bruce Wayne identity for good.
Wow.
Embrace the cape and cowl full time. But though he knows the streets of Gotham, Batman will soon come to find that he hardly knows himself in this highly anticipated new series from Eisner-winning storyteller Raphael Grompa, and it's going to be a DC Black Label.
Cool. So not continuity. Damn it.
No.
Which
we love, you know?
Okay. My interest is piqued, but as always, I'll wait till the first issue's out and read it.
I definitely enjoy most of the Black Label stuff. It has that darker twist that usually I'm enjoying these days.
Well, I think what it is for me,
it's the Bat Dong, the dark and
I love that
distorted twist
from Batman Damned. Yeah. But I think for me, Jeremy, it's just because, again, it's nice to see a story where it's about the story. The only continuity is the story as it's laid out. You know,
it's done in like 1 to 3 books, and then you're done.
Yeah, But again, I hate to say it, they're usually, because they're limited printings or special paper, they're usually like, "Oh, hey, everybody, your Black Label book for $9.99." I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Well, if it's a great story though, and it's a limited run, I don't mind paying extra. You know,
Leo, we've seen what you buy. You can't say anything.
Your problem.
Okay,
you are the spender.
Yeah, you are part of the problem, buddy.
All right, what else we got, Leo?
Yeah, Leo, just Russian roulette this sucker.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, everybody, this was recently announced. This DC is releasing a 25 years later, a massive 700-page paperback collecting all these comics from the Batman Beyond animated comic book tie-ins. So
700 pages. Wow.
So you've got basically everything. So Hilary J. Bader, who wrote 27 of the original 30 issues, art by Rich Briquette, Joe Stanton, who we had on the show earlier, Craig Rousseau, Min Skuen, and then you have covers by Bruce Timm, Brian Stelfreeze, James Tucker, Bob Smith, Terry Beatty, and the late great Darwin Cook. So it's, again, I'm super pumped. I love reading about Batman Beyond. I love the show. The comics just are essentially just a great continuation. So that will be coming out March 5th, 2024. And Velvet, they also announced that there will be a Batman and Adventures Volume 1 omnibus, which is a 1,200-page new edition with all 36 issues of the Batman Adventures. That's coming out September.
Batman the animated series.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep, 1,200-page new edition, September 5th this year.
1,200 pages.
1,200 pages. That's a biggie.
That's gonna run you some cash.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, you could literally kill somebody with that weight.
Yes.
And I was like, and worse comes to worse, if you do, then that person who, especially if you kill a family, that kid will grow up to be Batman, and then that's just irony that you don't need. But yeah, I'm super pumped by that. Again, Rich, you know that I'm a huge Batman Beyond fan, so that's great, and I'm so thrilled. I love reading omnibuses because everybody just gets to read what we spent years collecting. Oh
yeah. All right, Leo, what do I got?
Carrie says you can only...
Oh, Carrie's sending you shade, man. Carrie's sending you. She said you can only get 40 of those. Damn.
Carrie is 41. 41.
41.
Wow.
The new armor.
You should give out X-Men books for Christmas there, Leo.
Okay. Who's this? Because I have thoughts, but someone go.
Don't know. Daredevil Black Armor.
Well, this has to be you, Velvet.
I guess so. As we know, they're relaunching Daredevil again, and they're bringing back the 90s black armor for some reason.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm sorry. I just need to say this. That just looks ridiculous.
You didn't like it? Put that back up for a second.
I don't know.
At first, I thought that smoke coming out of the stack there was hair, some kind of ponytail coming out of his head. I was like, "What's going on?"
I don't know.
What
call
are
me old
shoulder things? Like, how are they attached? Are they attached to the chest plate?
Maybe.
I don't know, Velvet. To me,
it's a little weird.
Yeah, it looks a little excessive. This is like when Cable shows up and he's rocking like 40 billion pouches.
I'm like,
I was going to say, he flip onto like the top of a building, and like those things are just going to cut right into his shoulder blade, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, I just feel like it just looks ridiculous now, and on top of it, like even his yellow and red costume, I would prefer that over that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's just iconic, like the iconic simplicity. You know, so
Tom Dog disagrees with you boys. Tom Dog's all about it.
Cool,
Tom Dog's a 90s kid. It's like, I love the 90s. Bring it back.
Raz says he just believes in himself enough and the pieces stay in place. Sheer will, man.
That's his new power.
Yeah,
Tom says the Daredevil outfit looks awesome.
Yeah, moving on, please.
Next. Oh, hello there.
So Gal Gadot. So James Gunn has announced that Gal Gadot could be back as Wonder Woman, and some people are bitching. I thought the Snyderverse was dead, and stop. Just keep bitching. Go fuck yourself. I mean, she was awesome as Wonder Woman.
If you got something that works,
she had some shitty writing in the second movie, but she was still fun, and she had a great cameo in The Flash.
Mm-hmm. You know the thing that though. Rich, I will say this. I do agree with. One of my friends was kind of throwing a little shade. I do agree with him. Like, she gets another shot, but Henry Cavill doesn't. Like, it's a little strange. But again, I'm not the one making the decisions. But it's one of those where I can kind of see where some of the shade is justified, but not to the extent that some people are taking it.
In my thoughts, is Gal, even though she's an older Wonder, not older. I mean, she's probably in her 30s, mid 40s, somewhere around there.
Fucking great,
right?
But like, Wonder Woman's supposed to be a god or a demigod or whatever. Like, so she's been around for a lot longer than Superman. I would figure it in by the time the movies are picking up. So having a young Wonder Woman might be a little weird.
Kind of.
And for me, as I think about that, as if we're talking about like a male fan, and you're going, okay, well, if they were going to go with someone, would they go with Henry Cavill, and would they go with Gal Gadot? And if you pick Henry Cavill, you might be a bro.
I mean, listen, I know there were people who were fans of Henry Cavill's portrayal, and it grew on me a little bit after a while. I just think that just kind of like Gal did, I feel like he didn't have the proper films to really let his Superman shine. So, but a lot of that Snyderverse era, for every character that worked, there were two that should have got it better. So,
and had that CGI not been so bad on his lip, man.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about
another
Mustache-gate.
Yeah, another thing that he had no control over, but good lord.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Yes, Leo.
I'm liking this. Okay. This
is interesting.
I'm only bringing this up because I thought these covers are pretty dope. So we saw in X-Men 26, Tony Stark proposes to Emma Frost, and she says yes. So in Invincible Iron Man issue 10, we are going to see the marriage of Anthony Edward Stark and Emma Grace Frost. So Megan Hetrick is the artist that we just saw. So it's two variant covers for it, which is kind of an homage to Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson's wedding from Amazing Spider-Man Annual issue 21. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be two formats. So Leo, can we have them back just for a second? So on the left you have wedding attire, and then on the right you have the superhero attire.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I thought that was pretty cool either way.
Nice cover.
I don't really believe that this union is going to last long. But
definitely
not.
I take it she and Cyclops have been done for a while.
Yeah, he's back with Jean Grey, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been over for a while now.
All right.
But yeah. So Jerry Dugan is the one writing that, along with Stefano Castelli and Juan Figueri. So this is tying into the Fall of X series that's currently going on. So we'll see.
Awesome. Leo, what else?
Boom, The Long Halloween. What's this all about?
Oh, okay, so these are excuse me, James Gunn top 3 favorite DC comics, and what that he hope are going to influence the upcoming movies in the DC universe.
Long Halloween, really?
Okay, I'm fine with all of these because I've read all of them. I own half of them. And if that's what we're using as a backbone, I'm fine with that.
Well, did he say that they're going to be used for the next Batman, or is it just that those were his favorite stories?
Favorite stories that were going to be inspiring the next few DC cinematic universes. So
that's cool.
Oh, okay.
So I would love. I mean, especially since we're going to be going over it tonight. The one shot of the Riddler, man, that is a dark, fun story. I would love to see.
Absolutely. I mean, you got
screen.
That Riddler on screen would be way better than any other Riddler portrayed on screen.
And
if James, I wanted to say to Keith, because he said he liked Brightburn, so we just had Logan here for a few days, my son, and I got to show him Peacemaker for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd seen Suicide Squad, so I was like, at the end of the series, I was like, what do you think? Because at the end of Suicide Squad, you kind of hate the Peacemaker, but at the end of Peacemaker, you kind of love the Peacemaker. And what do you think of James Gunn's transitioning of that character? And he'd also just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he's like, I love his character transition. He goes, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. So I was wondering if Keith might have interpreted that as similarly.
That's
I don't know, man.
Show
we will never know.
We'll never know unless he comes back.
Yeah, he said
right, Leo.
So it's always a shot.
Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah. So Marvel, remember a few weeks ago we were talking about they were going to do these what if novels.
Mm-hmm.
These are continuing in that genre. These are going to be adult novels put out by Marvel with these 3 characters. There may be some interaction a little bit, but essentially going to be solo series. So that'll be coming out, I believe, in October of this year, October or November. So look out for that. If and considering that also from the Keith interview, he does not believe the comic industry will ever come back. Maybe that is another way for us to enjoy the characters in novels going forward.
Why not?
Well, I hope they figure something out because, man, I would hate if comic books ever just died out on us.
Yeah, it would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Next. Oh, okay. All right. So this is one of the. These are for the newly announced. Marvel is celebrating in October Hispanic Latin America Month.
Okay.
So they're highlighting some of the newer and fan favorite Latin and Latinx characters. So kind of similar to Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander History Month. So select issues in October are going to have variant covers featuring these heroes. And in those stories, you'll also see those characters teaming up with others in new adventures. They're called Comunidades variant covers. So they're going to be, the artist there is Hernanda Sosa. Okay. And the stories will be, and again, we're going to be seeing these in X-Men Red issue 16, Incredible Avengers 6, which is going to be October 11th, and Incredible Hulk issue 5 and Scarlet Witch issue 9. So some of the stories are going to be Strange Academy's Eva Quintera borrows a book from Scarlet Witch and ends up in a demonic realm.
Ooh.
We're going to have former Avenger Firebird is with the Avengers, working alongside Captain Marvel and Captain America to investigate a mystery in the desert, which leads them to New Roswell, New Mexico. There's one with Power Man, brawling with the Hulk. Shark Girl teaming up with Sunspot. This is on the X-Men. And
Shark Girl?
Yeah, Shark Girl. She's one of the newer mutants. We saw her around the Wolverine X-Men era. So yeah, you have a bunch of creators: Juan Ponce, Kalinda Vasquez, Vaida Ayala. Wait a second. Carolina Munoz, and then you have a bunch of other artists: Iguara, Alba Glez, Alitha Martinez, and Marcelo Costa. So honestly, it's a bunch of new creators working on these characters, kind of shedding light on characters we don't see very often as backstories. I think that's honestly a really different but fun way to give these characters some spotlight and also give these creators a chance to flex their guns.
Nice.
So
awesome. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, indeed. So that's going to be October this month. So you see the first of the Comunidades variant covers.
Which for gringos, that means community.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I had to look it up. I'm sorry. I had to look it up because I'm one of those people. I'm like, I wonder what that means.
Thank you, Jeremy. And so next.
Yes, sir, Mr. Leo. Ooh, what's that?
All right.
Oh, well, Leo, you had something up earlier, but this is fine. This is very brief. Artist Kare Andrews posted this teaser solicitation or image up, and a lot of fans believe that this is saying that Marvel is doing a sequel to his 2006 limited series Spider-Man Reign, which is basically imagine Spider-Man if it was The Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
he actually even created a character in it called Miller Jansen. As to pay homage to Klaus and Frank.
So basically, the story of that is you have an older Spider-Man in a totalitarian New York that's basically run by his villains. He's called back into action to be Spider-Man again, and he also has to deal with essentially all of his past, including that he's still getting over the death of his wife, Mary Jane, whose spirit psychologically haunts him, as he may have been responsible for her death.
With his super...
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. They got to read it. It was a really controversial story because of how Mary Jane died, which you have to look up to believe. And similar to Batman Damned, there was an issue where naked Peter Parker, we saw some of his junk. So we saw his personal web shooter. So naturally, that issue is considered... They reprinted it without it, but
wait, is that what they refer to in porn as webs?
Ooh, there you go.
All right, cool. We're gonna move on right now. So,
a
reveal.
God damn it!
So a reveal might be coming with that in Marvel in December. So this is actually pretty cool. J.M. DeMatteis, Keith's frequent collaborator, is revisiting 80s era X-Men. This month with Magneto. It's a small limited series that he's doing with Tad Nauk, who we know from his work on Young Justice, and also most recently his work with Jeff Johns on Stargirl. This is Magneto during that era where he's essentially... Charles may be gone, so he's kind of helping out with the X-Men. I believe more of the New Mutants at that time. He's kind of become their mentor. He's reflecting on the past. He's kind of thinking about his bad decisions, like his attack on the Cape Citadel and such. But then he comes to the mansion. He finds the New Mutants are basically knocked out. The mansion's invaded, and the attacker is this woman who's, as we just saw there, a teenager who wields flame the way Magneto manipulates metal. So she's loving seeing him. So her flames, essentially, her mutant powers, they siphon on negative feelings. So ugliness, brutality, rage. So, quote unquote, she tears a dark tsunami from his soul, absorbing a lifetime of anger that he's repressing, and essentially knocks him out. So when he wakes up, he's on the island nation of Santa Marco, meeting Ire, who's Queen of Wrath, and another version of the Sisterhood of Evil Mutants. So Ire, I believe, is linked to Magneto's past. She's connected to something. She's probably one of Magneto's victims of his actions to try to, gain mutant superiority and the destruction of humans. JM is a great writer, so I think it's going to be a solid read. It's already out now, and it's only a 4-issue limited series, so I say give it a shot. I mean, why not?
Sounds fun.
Yeah. So next. Yes. So Rich, speaking of, just like you were mentioning, books, there is a fun new book called Thor Quest by, and man, these guys pop up all the time, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, who we've talked about a lot, who's juggling multiple projects with DC and Marvel. They're also working on this book, which is an illustrated novel. So Thor Quest Hammer of the Gods follows the story of Thor's first encounter with Mjolnir. And this illustrated novel, with illustrations by Ben Young, will come with maps, illustrations, comic panels, where you're going to have Thor finding out that an artifact from his father's collection has gone missing in the dwarven realm of Nidalver. Nidalvalir. Him and Loki and Thor's best friend Fandral decide to bring it back, but Lady Sif in this version, who's a recent arrival to Asgard, she's their babysitter, so she's trying to keep them out of trouble. Honestly, it's going to change up a lot of perspectives. You're going to have it's just fun, man. I mean, that's the best thing is Colin and Jackson really talk about how much they've enjoyed not just working with Billy Young, who says that he's done a lot of good work with Weigold, who is Sif's battle cat companion, so there's a lot of crazy cat action going there. But they just really love contributing to, the Asgardian myths. They think the 10 Realms are a great playground. There's a lot of fun that can be had there. And they said it gives them the opportunity to be what is in Old Norse Viking is called a skald, which is a storyteller. So they're just, telling old stories in new ways. So I believe that should be out. Yeah, it's available now. Disney Books. Check it out. Hammer of the Gods.
Cool.
Nice.
Get those kiddos reading.
I mean, honestly, I'm liking what I'm hearing. Again, I was a big mythology kid when growing up. I love, looking at things in a different perspective. And it's like they said, we're keeping the old stories alive. I mean, how great is that? Thousands of years later, everybody knows who Thor is. That's pretty cool, man. So,
storytelling that lasts forever.
Basically. Next.
Ghost Rider and Wolverine.
Okay, so this wasn't me.
Velvet.
Yeah, I wish I remember. Ghost Rider Wolverine, #1. It's coming out. And it's Percy, Shaw, and Barreto. And these guys have not been together in quite a while. And we're going to see they both got motorcycles and they're riding it hot and hard, putting it wet.
Nicely done, Velvet. That series, which will also have variants, I recall, by Frank Miller, which could be hit or miss. That story, we're going to see Velvet, not only the first time Ghost Rider and Wolverine ever met / fought, but it also deals with a story where basically imagine Weapon X, but they're utilizing Ghost Rider like abilities.
Cool.
So
thank you.
So they call it Department H, which I'm like, oh, H, hell. Okay, stretching a little. But Benjamin Percy's doing that. I met him at C2E2 in 2020. Really, really pleasant guy. Clearly loves the character. You know, he's been doing a lot of good work with X-Force during the former Krakoa era. So I think it could be fun.
Well, absolutely. And I'm sure Carrie would be excited because whenever you get
anytime we get Ghost Rider, I just imagine. Yeah, you just.
Can you imagine Carrie with her hair on fire? I could see her being.
I think that is going to be the most disorganized but dangerous spirit of vengeance ever. But I agree, Rich. That would just be just.
Yes, absolutely. Leo, anything else?
That is it.
Okay.
All right. So
let's
talk about
all
the book.
The news. No
So let's
news
get to the
is
book.
good news.
Carrie says, "Oh yeah, all over that."
Yeah, he was.
Department H, right? Department H was who handled Wolverine. Thank you, Bryce. Right. All right. So this book. Okay, I'm going to say it. I think this is another win for Tom and Mitch. Like what a great story.
Yeah, Tom King and
I would
Nick
say
Gerard.
the first.
You got the cover there, Leo?
I'm working on it right now.
The first page or two, I was a little concerned, but as soon as I turned page number 3, I was sucked in, really by his school days.
Yeah, that was. Did you get like a little Goodwill Hunting? Not Goodwill Hunting. Like Dead Poet Society kind of vibe to it.
Oh,
like
from the teacher and the.
Yeah.
I can see that.
A little Dead Poet Society, little school ties, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, preppy board school. A lot of I don't know, crazy.
I think for me it was Batman talking to his father. That was crazy. The fear.
It's interesting. So we've never seen the Riddler in this dark place, and
Where
apparently
he's no
Batman
longer-
is pushing him to it because Gordon goes in there and he's like, "Yeah, Bats doesn't think you're worth talking to."
Yeah,
and,
it's kind of like taunting him the whole.
And that was the Riddler equivalent of "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "All right, it's on, motherfucker."
I just, you know what I felt bad for? I mean, the guy he killed. Like,
yeah, right. There was
like I was like, oh man.
Oh, and how they did it, you know, it's just, you know, he's just going texting, and then black. Like that was just
he's
so
texting
striking.
his wife. He thinks he's
I
on his
actually
way
thought at
home.
first that
He has no idea the lights are about to go out.
Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't even know it was coming. Just absolutely insane.
And then on top of it, the fear, the Riddler. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Riddler can be scary. I mean, if anybody questions that, I was like, guys, did you ever read Hush? Come on. Like, at the end, that was one of the best reveals.
Well, I'd say that's the challenge. If anyone thinks that the Riddler is a pussy character, read this fucking one shot.
Yeah.
Well, he goes into
this one
detail about taking out Barbara. Well, that was his plan in selling it to the Joker.
I also, my God, when he just had the room full of cops and he essentially convinces them all.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah,
your families are in danger.
He basically, in like less than 24 hours, became the most dangerous and the most protected man in all of Gotham.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this was also, I think, one of my favorite Batman moments in the book.
This was dark.
With the, you know, especially at the end. At the end, where he's just Listen, I'll tell you what you want. You know, just don't put me back in the water. It's like, is that good? It's just, yes? No. He just Rorschachs him.
I love the art. It's very captivating.
Yeah, they did a great job on this.
Yeah, but
look at that.
Oh yeah, I was like, wow.
This was twisted because he's just like another inmate, and they had a bet going on, and fucking convinces him to kill himself.
Well, I just think again, like
shit. Usually when the Joker, they leave someone close to him, he can commit suicide or do horrible things to himself. But this was showing a level that we've never seen out of the Riddler.
And I think the thing that I realized, because I had to read this twice because of the ending. So I was like, okay, I have to, you know what I mean? Like my brain was like, wait a second. You know, one, the Riddler's dad was just, I was like,
that was brutal.
Yeah, that was really intense. And I couldn't, like, he reminded me of, this was brutal too. With the fingers.
Oh, the fingers, yeah.
I was like, I'm never eating a sandwich through a slot ever again. But like I said, it was just like this man is just still convinced, even after everything, is like, my son's a fucking loser. I'm like, oh my God. You kind of remind me of a little bit of Wilford Brimley, a little, you know, diabetes.
Angry Wilford Brimley.
But like with this, you could kind of understand how the Riddler became the way he would, because if his dad was constantly pushing him like that, you know.
Well, also the dad driving him to the point of suicide.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely a turning point where he snapped. Like he didn't have a way out. And he begged his teacher for help, and the teacher was like, you know, just deal with it, you know.
Yeah. And then I mean, I'm not going to look at a basketball court the same. I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah, I was not expecting the teacher to catch a foot to the back of the head.
Yeah. But and it's funny because when I read this a second time, I realized I think the ending is a tribute or an homage to the Killing Joke.
No, this is a tie-in to Killing Joke. Because that was the whole story of Killing Joke, was one bad day, you know.
No. Leo, you have to let me explain what I meant by that.
Okay.
What I meant by that is at the end. Okay, so one of the things that has always been, and Velvet, I'm sure you know about this, is it's a very debated thing about Killing Joke, is the ending. Is that there are people who, you know, you just see Batman and Joker laughing and you know, it's like, wow, this is kind of an odd sort of ending for the book. You see them finally enjoying a joke and laughing together. But then I think it was like Grant Morrison on a podcast was the one who came up with this, like, that he feels that the end of it, Batman kills the Joker, and that's why the laughing stops.
Right.
And all you see is, it's become like a widely debated point. And I kind of felt like the similar thing here at the end of this book. You have Batman kind of like, do you guys, okay, do you guys think Batman kills the Riddler at the end?
I don't.
Yes. I do. What do you think, Drew?
You know what? I kind of feel like, Rich, I kind of felt like he did. I felt like that was the point of it at the end. Is that...
Yeah, there was nothing else to do. And with the three blank things was just like when Riddler first killed that guy. So that's why I'm like, oh, wait, he killed him.
Well, right. That, but also I thought of, because it's that. And then also notice they're using the Brian Bolland, the Dave Gibbons Watchmen square panels for movement. You know, this is something that you saw in that where it's just the 6 boxes, but it's like, since they're all the same, you could get away with more. Carrie agrees with you, Rich, about the callback.
As she should.
Yes. So, yeah. So
So should we rate
I'm
this bad
Rich.
boy?
I'm gonna go with. I think he does. I think that's. Yeah.
Okay. And Leo, you think death or no death?
You know, when I
Rick or death?
when I originally read it, I thought no, but you know, looking at it again,
you guys will not bully me into this.
Peer pressure.
You hold strong, baby.
Listen,
I figure, like, because if Batman crosses that line, it's always been that thing, you know. Batman can't cross that line, or else he'll be just like the rest of them. He will.
Yeah, but
unless this Batman already killed, then Killing Joke.
But again, I don't know if, because do they say that Joker's definitely dead in this?
Well, I mean, wasn't
they just make
his plan, but he doesn't. Nobody ever says that the Joker's not.
Well, we might find out in the other stories, because this was what, a 6-part story.
Was it?
Well, you have all
bunch of one shots.
It's like 6 or 8 one-shots.
All right.
I don't know.
Rate
So
this
I'm gonna
bad
have
boy?
to go through and read more. What if they all end like this and just none of them tell us?
Batman's just on a killing spree.
Like Batman murders someone in every episode.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, you know, if you think of it though, like he most likely killed that guy on the in the dock.
Oh, with the shark.
Yeah.
You think so?
No, he did not. No, he did not. They referenced that later in one of the conversations, that the guy showed up soaked to the bone, beaten and babbling.
Okay.
So, sorry, Leo.
Yeah, Batman doesn't kill. They just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, it's called it's not dead. It's a coma.
Well, yeah, kind of like in Spider-Man the game, you know, when Spider-Man like webs up an enemy and kicks him off the building.
Oh, yeah, right.
The guy survives. You know?
Oh, nice bring around to the shooting webs thing back, Leo. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. So, I honestly, listen, we're getting close to almost 2 hours, so I think we should rate this and wrap it up.
Yes,
so Leo, go.
I really enjoyed this. It is extremely dark. I can't wait to read the other stuff. And also just want to point out, Justin and Brandon and myself covered this in the Dork Night, so definitely look for that as well. But I'm going to give this a 4.5. I really enjoyed it.
4.5.
4.5. Yeah.
I gotta say, Leo, I'm just gonna say ditto, because I enjoyed it. I love a good dark story. I like, he was so powerful until this last panel, but yeah, loved it. 4.5 all the way. Drew Malo.
I'm with you guys. I'm giving this a 4.5. I think Tom King told a great story, something different, something very dark. And then Mitch's artwork knocked it out of the park. So, you know, and I've read a few people who reviewed this, and you know, people were very critical of the story, Tom King's storytelling, Mitch's artwork, and I'm just like, no one's ever happy. So I'm just like, listen, fuck the haters, 4.5. And also on another note, I need to say that we, members of us at the Dorkening, met both of these creators at Terrificon 2 weeks ago, and these are some of the most down-to-earth, enthusiastic, and gracious people. Like, just us telling Mitch and Tom how much we as a podcast loved Mr. Miracle, I swear to God, that man would have hugged us. So that's all I got to say.
They did seem very happy.
Yeah, so 4.5 for me.
And I guess I'll join you all with that 4.5.
Whoa,
it's a wonderful read. The art I just love. It's like a painting in each panel, and sometimes the panels connect, sometimes it's just great. I love it.
Beautiful. Another show down, Mr. Leo.
Yeah, and before we wrap things up, this made me
Yes.
think of something. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Hold
Well,
on.
Leo got a thought, guys.
Jeez, you
Does it have a
know,
price tag?
Well,
How much does it cost?
Superman related?
Is it Transformers?
No. It could
Hey,
be.
have you opened your present yet, Leo?
Yeah.
No, I'm supposed to do that on camera.
Oh.
You want to do that now while we have 15 minutes?
I can.
You know what? You know what? No, wait. Let's save that for next week. We want.
All right. We'll start off the show with it. That way
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get it done and out of the way.
There you
And
go.
then we can make sure the person who created it is also watching so they can chime in their 2 cents.
Yeah, so we can tell everyone we're going to have
the
unboxing next week.
There you go.
Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull something up here.
Okay.
Danny's trying to bring it back to
trying
Rags.
to give you the 1 second.
Well,
Feel like we're at 12.
so this got me thinking. This is a tie-in to Killing Joke,
Right.
and Killing Joke was just referenced in canon.
Mm-hmm.
So
much to the chagrin of Alan Moore, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it was referenced as a alternate universe.
Well, yeah, that's what Alan meant for it to be, just a one-shot non-continuity. But kind of like how our former guest Keith Giffen did, they just fucked him over.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Was Batman bouncing across universes where he was bouncing across where Joker didn't exist, and he was creating new Jokers?
In what, Leo? What are we talking about?
This is
Leo, you haven't explained your train of thought here.
I'm lost.
Okay, this is the current Batman run with Zdarsky.
Right.
So Batman was supposedly killed by Failsafe, but he was actually warped into another universe.
Yeah.
And this version of Red Hood is actually, he's trying to become the ultimate Joker.
Okay.
And so like he got a vision of how badass Joker was in an alternate universe, and he was trying to become that person.
Okay.
So in doing so, he opened up a sort of like he started to slip into different universes. And it turned out wherever he slipped, he created a Joker where there was one that didn't exist. And one of the universes he pops in, I'm pretty sure, is Killing Joke.
Really?
So let me...
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Deadly Joker is back. So that would make you think that Batman killed the Joker in Killing Joke, at least according to Zdarsky.
Again, it's really up to interpretation.
Whoa, is that
I never
Batman?
thought about that until I saw that episode with Morrison talking to Kevin Smith about it. So I was like, wow, that is a conversation starter. So
yeah.
All right. So Leo, save that
Yeah.
for next time. Let's wrap this sucker up.
Okay, fine.
God,
Just real quick, yes, Jar Jar, this is 89 Batman, which
I
we
thought
know
so.
the Joker died in that universe as well.
Mm-hmm.
But now, according to Zdarsky, he is back.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. And you know me, just Google me. You'll find me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. Head on over to thedorkening.com. You can learn more there. Head on to our Splash Pages website. Information in the show notes up above or down below. Just go to splashpagesclub.com and that'll redirect you to the full website, which is like Splash Pages Comic Book Club. Really long, but just go to splashpagesclub.com and you'll be linked there. Check out our YouTube as well. And with that, let's see. Velvet.
Hey, it's your man, Velvet J. We just had another great show. We had the fantastic Keith Giffen on. And I'm really tired. And I hope everyone had a great time. We'll see you soon. There's going to be an unboxing next week. Velvet Joker 1 on TikTok and YouTube. Check out my videos. Love you guys. Have a great night. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Mr. Drew.
He's sleeping already. Move on.
Ghostbuster Man, really 1984.
Hey, it was a great show, everybody. Thank you so much. Leo Pond at pondscum.com.
Oh, gee, how original, Drew.
Get out. Everybody, we're tired. We had a great show. There'll be another one next week if you missed it. There'll be things happening. Good night.
Jar Jar.
Hey, that's a wrap. Check us out next week at 8 o'clock on either Facebook or YouTube. Check out the Midweek Geeks on Wednesday at 9 o'clock on Facebook or YouTube. And be sure to check out Token with the Dead live panels coming from Maryland and Virginia soon within the next few weeks.
Aren't you going down to Maryland, Jar Jar?
Yes. Going down to Maryland, got the Cumberland Blues.
Yeah, and then 3 weeks after that, we're going to be down in Virginia?
Virginia, down in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay, everybody. Good night, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks for checking us
Good
out.
night, Drew.